Welcome back, everybody. My name is Nomhle Ramachula, and today we're going to be interviewing Mr. Witness Mta. I'm sure you've seen him on Facebook. That's where most of us have actually discovered him. If not, you should go to his Facebook page, Witness Mtaka, and check him out. How are you, Mr. Witness, today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the interview. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Actually, we are glad to have you here today. So we just wanted to talk about Witness Mtaka, actually. So we just want to know, when did you start writing the It's More Than Just Money book?
So I started writing It's More Than Just Money in 2020. I started in April 2020. I was done in June 2020, and the book was published in September, and we started selling it from there. But how the book came about is that I was writing a lot of long posts on Facebook, sharing my thoughts on property investing, on business, and general life skills, right? We were still in the hard lockdown. I was sharing a lot of information. A lot of people were commenting, some were agreeing with what I was saying, some were saying that what I was saying was impossible. And then I gave myself a challenge, and I thought, okay, if so many people are now starting to follow my work, I might as well make money from that. So I thought I had 400 followers when I started writing, and then I realized that after a week or two, I had like 7,000 people following my profile. Then I said, okay, if I reach 10,000 people, I'm gonna write a book. So I put it boldly on Facebook and said, if I reach 10,000 people, I'll write a book and you guys are gonna buy it. 10,000 people it was. Then I started writing the book. So I was obviously under a lot of pressure because a lot of people pre-ordered the book before I even started writing it. I wrote the book. I was done in June. We started publishing it and selling it in September, and the rest is history. We've sold thousands of copies of the book.
Alright, I just wanted to refer to a story that I once read. I've read the book twice, by the way, going on the third. So there's a story about Thabo and Sipho.
Thabo and Sipho, yes.
Yes, there's a story about Thabo and Sipho. The reason why I'm referring to this story is because of the fact that most of us, obviously, when we start working and we start to see that, okay, we make enough money, we want to buy a car. So I just wanted to know, how did the story come about, and what lessons do you think our listeners should get from that story?
So based on what you described, salary, are you not talking about Jabu and Prince?
Yes, Jabu and Prince.
I know my book very well.
Yes, you do. That means I should go read it again.
So you're confusing two stories. There is a Thabo and a Sipho, but it's a different story from what you are talking about. Jabu and Prince is another story in the book that narrates how one person started working, and the first thing they did is to buy a nice car for themselves. Then after 5 years, obviously the car has lost a lot of value, and they maybe are fortunate enough to buy a home for themselves to live in, but the two things combined after 5 years are not worth much, because in any case, in the first 5 years of buying a home, you are paying mostly interest. You're not really getting much equity from the property. It doesn't gain much value in terms of capital gains, unless something out of the ordinary happens in the area where you bought the property and it doubles in value. Then really you don't make anything from it. And then I narrated, that was Prince, right? Prince would be the guy that buys a BMW. And then I said Jabu would be the second guy who decides that he's not going to buy a car yet, or instead of buying an expensive car, he's going to buy a slightly cheaper car, or really cheap car, so that you could use earning capacity to start investing in property. And in that story I say that instead of him buying a car, he then buys his first investment property rather than a home to live in, and he puts a tenant in there. He obviously selects the property properly and starts earning cash flow from day one because he selected the right kind of property to invest in. I do narrate that from there, he buys his second, third, and fourth property within 5 years, which is what I've seen. I've spent a lot of time with mentors and business people. Obviously, they do high level, high scale, but I do know that in 4 years, based on my interaction with peers, and some of what I've done in my own journey as well. You can buy 4 properties that you can rent out, right? If your focus is that, right? So, but a lot of people when they start working, they don't have money to pay deposit, right? So the start or the entry into the property investing game would then to buy a property in a new development that you obviously do research on before you select, because in the new development then you don't pay transfer fees, you don't pay a deposit. The bank usually is willing to give you 100% financing because the property is new, it's not old. And they also don't pay bond registration fees. So basically all the attorney fees, all the deposits is money that you don't have to pay if it is your first property and it is a new development. Now, if you decide not to buy any new development, the bank can in some instances still give you 100% financing, and if not, then definitely they'll give you 95% because you're a first-time home buyer. Then you'd have to then pay the transfer fees and the bond fees from your own pocket. Usually you would have saved that money over a period of time.
Right. That is a lot to chew over, guys. But I think all those that you have mentioned are important for us to keep in mind to say if we're going to buy a house that is old or in a new development, so we can choose which tea is best for us. So please let us know, where can we get the book? How much is it?
So the book is 275. You can get it from my website www.witnessamdaga.com, and you can also get it from amazon.com. You can either get the paperback or you can get the ebook from Kindle, and then you can also get the book from smashwords.com if you want the ebook. And then if you get it from our website and you're in South Africa, then we can courier it to you for an extra fee of 85 rands. And then obviously if you get it from Amazon, if you're outside the country of South Africa, Amazon will, the cost will be applicable to what Amazon charges for that specific area.
Alright. Thank you so much, Mr. Mdaka, for being with us today. It's been a pleasure. We wish you the best, and we're definitely getting this book, guys, right? It's been awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.